Hi there and welcome. This is Book of Mormon Reader, and we are reading Ether chapter 8 today in the Book of Mormon. Ether chapter 8. And it came to pass that he begat Omer, and Omer reigned in his stead. And Omer begat Jared, and Jared begat sons and daughters. And Jared rebelled against his father, and came and dwelt in the land of Heth. And it came to pass that he did flatter many people because of his cunning words, until he had gained the half of the kingdom. And when he had gained the half of the kingdom, he gave battle unto his father, and he did carry away his father into captivity, and did make him serve in captivity. And now in the days of the reign of Omer he was in captivity the half of his days. And it came to pass that he begat sons and daughters, among whom were Esrom and Coriantumr. And they were exceedingly angry because of the doings of Jared their brother, insomuch that they did raise an army and gave battle unto Jared. And it came to pass that they did give battle unto him by night. And it came to pass that when they had slain the army of Jared, they were about to slay him also. And he pled with them that they would not slay him, and he would give up the kingdom unto his father. And it came to pass that they did grant unto him his life. And now Jared became exceedingly sorrowful because of the loss of the kingdom, for he had set his heart upon the kingdom and upon the glory of the world. Now the daughter of Jared, being exceedingly expert, and seeing the sorrows of her father, thought to devise a plan whereby she could redeem the kingdom unto her father. Now the daughter of Jared was exceedingly fair, and it came to pass that she did talk with her father, and said unto him, Whereby hath my father so much sorrow? Hath he not read the record which our fathers brought across the great deep? Behold, is there not an account concerning them of old, that they by their secret plans did obtain kingdoms and great glory? And now therefore let my father send for Achish, the son of Kimnor, and behold, I am fair, and I will dance before him, and I will please him, that he will desire me to wife. Wherefore, if he shall desire of thee that ye shall give unto him me to wife, then shall ye say, I will give her if ye will bring unto me the head of my father, the king. And now Omer was a friend to Achish, wherefore, when Jared had sent for Achish, the daughter of Jared danced before him that she pleased him, insomuch that he desired her to wife. And it came to pass that he said unto Jared, Give her unto me to wife. And Jared said unto him, I will give her unto you, if ye will bring unto me the head of my father, the king. And it came to pass that Achish gathered in unto the house of Jared all his kinsfolk, and said unto them, Will ye swear unto me that ye will be faithful unto me in the thing which I shall desire of you? And it came to pass that they all sware unto him by the God of heaven, and also by the heavens, and also by the earth, and by their heads, that whoso should vary from the assistance which Achish desired should lose his head, and whoso should divulge whatsoever thing Achish made known unto him, the same should lose his life. And it came to pass that thus they did agree with Achish, and Achish did administer unto them the oaths which were given by them of old, who also sought power, which had been handed down even from Cain, who was a murderer from the beginning. And they were kept up by the power of the devil, to administer these oaths unto the people, to keep them in darkness, to help such as sought power to gain power, and to murder, and to plunder, and to lie, and to commit all manner of wickedness and whoredoms. And it was the daughter of Jared who put it into his heart to search up these things of old, and Jared put it into the heart of Achish. Wherefore Achish administered it unto his kindred and friends, leading them away by fair promises to do whatsoever thing he desired. And it came to pass that they formed a secret combination, even as they of old, which combination is most abominable, and wicked above all in the sight of God. For the Lord worketh not in secret combinations, neither doth he will that man should shed blood, but in all things hath forbidden it from the beginning of man. And now I, Moroni, do not write the manner of their oaths and combinations, for it hath been made known unto me that they are had among all people, and they are had among the Lamanites. And they have caused the destruction of this people of whom I am now speaking, and also the destruction of the people of Nephi. And whatsoever nation shall uphold such secret combinations to get power and gain, until they shall spread over the nation, behold, they shall be destroyed. For the Lord will not suffer that the blood of his saints, which shall be shed by them, shall always cry unto him from the ground for vengeance upon them, and yet he avenge them not. Wherefore, O ye Gentiles, it is wisdom in God that these things should be shown unto you, that thereby ye may repent of your sins, and suffer not that these murderous combinations shall get above you, which are built up to get power and gain, and the work, yea, even the work of destruction come upon you. Yea, even the sword of the justice of the eternal God shall fall upon you, to your overthrow and destruction, if ye shall suffer these things to be. Wherefore the Lord commandeth you, when ye shall see these things come among you, that ye shall awake to a sense of your awful situation, because of this secret combination which shall be among you. Or woe be unto it, because of the blood of them who have been slain. For they cry from the dust for vengeance upon it, and also upon those who built it up. For it cometh to pass that whoso buildeth it up seeketh to overthrow the freedom of all lands, nations, and countries, and it bringeth to pass the destruction of all people. For it is built up by the devil, who is the father of all lies, even that same liar who beguiled our first parents. Yea, even that same liar who hath caused man to commit murder from the beginning, who hath hardened the hearts of men that they have murdered the prophets, and stoned them, and cast them out from the beginning. Wherefore I, Moroni, am commanded to write these things, that evil may be done away, and that the time may come that Satan may have no power upon the hearts of the children of men, but that they may be persuaded to do good continually, that they may come unto the fountain of all righteousness, and be saved. Well, good heavens, this is a frightening chapter. And just for your information, as I was Googling Ether 8 to pull up the LDS.org so I could read along with it, there's a video on YouTube called Ether 8, The Warning. And they set this reading of the scriptures to a clip of a movie. I think it's Lord of the Rings. And it's this, oh my gosh, it's so frightening. It's just so frightening. And I thought, I can't compete with that, with all the images and the music and the everything. It's just crazy. But the feeling of the wickedness is so real and so scary that you may, you may want to take a peek at it and experience it. I think it's like 3 minutes or something to watch it. But there's a lot in this chapter that is really, believe it or not, unfortunately, we have this kind of same stuff happening even today. And every time when I read, I see flashes of things that are happening today that flood my mind. And I kept thinking, I kept think, my gosh, this is so what we are seeing today. The main thing that that sort of struck me today is the beguiling of a woman to tear down a man in a high office, and how she, women can be very, very evil and very manipulative, and they can use their wiles and their beauty as a weapon, as we see here. And I will never forget, one of my stake presidents told us this story, and he had just been recently in a court, a disciplinary court, from somebody who had, I guess he had committed adultery. He didn't get into any of the details, but he just said, this could happen to any one of us. A seemingly good person, this guy who I knew, and yet this happened. And at the time, he said that this week he had, at that time, he said that Disneyland was reopening. That should tell you how long ago that was. It was reopening, and they were opening again the gates and letting down the castle. Like the, what is that thing, the moat guard or something. And they had never done that except for on the very first day they opened, clear back in the day. But they had done a big renovation and they reopened it, and they were celebrating a special anniversary. And so television crews were there, and he was there with his family, and he said that he had one of his grandkids on his shoulders as they were walking in, and his wife was near him, and that it was caught on these cameras, and so that he was getting sort of a flood of calls of people that said, "Hey, we saw you on TV, that was awesome, we saw you." And there it was. He didn't know that he had been caught on camera, and then I guess they showed it on the news, or I'm not sure where it was they saw it, but anyway, there was a barrage of people that he knew who had seen him. And he just said, "Can you imagine if I wasn't where I was supposed to be, with whom I was supposed to be with?" He said, "How many times do people who think that they won't get caught, and they cheat on their wives or they cheat on their husbands, and they're places where they ought not to be?" And how awful that is, that they think in their mind that they can't be caught because they're so caught up in their sin, that and the destruction that comes afterwards. In this case, in the scriptures, my goodness, she asked for the guy's head. What kind of a sicko is that? Of course, they don't give you the horrified reaction, but he's like, "Okay, you want that?" I have no idea how they reacted, but what an incredible request. And why would he still want to marry her after that? That just blows me away too. But sometimes, you think, come on, the spell of a woman, give me a break. Come on, guys, shake your head out, and look at, if any woman wants to do anything that is not honorable, or if you hold the priesthood and she does not honor your priesthood, you better run away from her. She doesn't honor you and doesn't honor other people. This is the huge thing. Well, back to my stake president story. And he was talking about that, about how women, in this case, they weren't married yet, but he's in his personal case of a friend who had fallen from grace, so to speak. He let his eyes wander, and he told a little story about a little tip of how to make that not happen. And he referred to an episode of The Twilight Zone, and I think it was called The Death Ship or something. And this beautiful woman was cloaked in this robe that when the lightning would go, then it would show her face that would, light up, and it was a skull. And anybody who would see her, if she looked at them, they were the next one to die. And so to that image of, that beautiful woman, but when the lights flashed and the lightning was going, her face was a skull. And that was his tip. He said, "Guys, if this is not your wife, any woman who is not your wife, I don't care if you work with her, if she's the nicest person, if she's your neighbor, or if she's even someone here in church, she is death to you." And so indeed she is, if she's not your wife. Any woman who, you start sharing your intimate thoughts and feelings, and it always, goes in a place that begins to unravel the covenants that you've made. And so that was his tip. Picture her like the death queen of the ship on the Twilight Zone, because she is death to you. that was one of the first things that popped out to me in this particular scripture set, was the wickedness of this woman who used her wiles and her seductive skills to make this person fall. And coming forward again to today, this just happened to us. We have a whole absolute scandal called Benghazi, and one by one, these otherwise honorable generals are being plucked out of the military, and one of them started with a woman. She started, and he, he was married already, but he ended up, I don't know if he had an affair with two women or whatever, but anyway, he allowed himself, and that is the word, he allowed himself, because everybody can't be tempted above that which ye are able. It says that in 1 Corinthians 10:13. You will never be faced with a temptation that you cannot overcome. Isn't that a comfort to know that? That you have it within you to withstand and conquer a temptation. You are not bound to succumb to it. You have a choice. That is very empowering to know you do have a choice. And usually, these red flags will be going off, and some people just barrel right through them because they don't care if they break their temptation. But this is a huge thing, that women are absolutely sometimes worse than men in this particular way to bring down people. And the other part that's so scary about this, which is also evident today, about these secret combinations and these evil societies. And I'm thinking about modern day gangs and signs that they have for each other, and the mafia, and how there's no loyalty whatsoever. If you cross one of them, they'll cross you. They have no value on human life whatsoever. And this whole idea here that that people can just I don't know, I guess have these different things just to get power and to get gain. And, these gang initiations to go in. In fact, I just came today, just moments ago, I came from a special performance of Christmases at Citrus College in Glendora. And the theme this year was about these sorority girls. And the very beginning of it was this girl who wanted to pledge a sorority and become one of the sisters in the sorority, but they had to pass a test, and they had this little sign that they did, and it was cute and everything. But the idea of it was, yeah, these secret combinations are still going on today, even in things like that. And here all of them, even if they seem to be cute, are abominations before the Lord. It's quite something. The other thing that I was thinking of that I had seen is this is scary stuff. This is very scary stuff. There was a movie years ago, and I've tried to find it in different places. Maybe they have it on the Netflix, not streaming, but the one where you send away. It's called Young Sherlock Holmes. And it's the story of before Sherlock Holmes became Sherlock Holmes, when he was like a teenager in prep school. And there's a scary element to a very secret combination that goes on, where they were actually sacrificing young maidens with this horrible ceremony that they would do, and the chanting and the music would swell, and it's an incredible movie. And that's one reason why I've been trying to find it. But it is so super duper scary, and that's set sort of in a modern day thing. But the main thing I think about this too is the person who's writing these things, and he's pleading for people to be aware of this. The other thing that I think is that sort of was running through my head is this idea that the United Nations wants to rule everything and take away the freedoms. I saw let's see if I can find this here. I'm looking in this book that I reference sometimes. It's called Treasures of the Book of Mormon. Treasures from the Book of Mormon. And they absolutely exalt the earth, that man is here to serve the earth in this Agenda 21 that's put forth by the United Nations, rather than man having dominion over the earth. And this is a super duper scary phenomenon that's not just a theory. It's something that's happening in all the communities locally before it moves its way up. And we've been encouraged by, I think it's been Glenn Beck and some other people, to look in your local city to see if these things are being implemented. For example, they were talking about meters, and this is happening where I live. That they're installing these what they call smart meters, and they always say, oh, it's for your good, it's for better things, but it's not. It's to move closer to a nanny state. And this is very, very scary stuff. And the author of this book, her name is Harriet something, she was talking about this idea that she had when she was reading about all these different requirements. For example, we have mandated now these light bulbs that we have to have, these energy efficient light bulbs. We have to have it. We have to have toilets that flush. In another one, they were saying that in your local community, you have to have bike paths or sidewalks. And you think, oh, that's a nice thing. But again, it's because it's mandated that's the reason why it's so scary. And so check in your local government to see if this is going on. It's called Agenda 21. So here we go. It says it's very clear. It's very, very clear that that there's no good ending to that when people start involving themselves in these secret combinations. And he says in verse 23, he's pleading, wherefore, O ye Gentiles, I want to show you these things, because he can see, he's a prophet, and he sees these things, and he's begging them, pleading them with this tender voice here. And it says here, this is pretty interesting, listen to this commentary by W. Cleon Skousen. And for verse 23, he says, now Moroni unexpectedly stops. No doubt he suddenly remembered a great vision of the latter days which God had shown him. In this vision he had seen that the secret combinations which had destroyed the Jaredites and the Nephites would also spread among the human race in the latter days. Then it helps us appreciate what he's about to say, which is, behold, the Lord hath shown unto me great and marvelous things concerning that which must shortly come. At that day, when these things shall come forth among you, which is the Book of Mormon, behold, I speak unto you as if you were present, and yet ye are not. But behold, Jesus Christ hath shown you unto me, and I know your doing. How amazing is that, to know he could see us. He could see what day we were living in. And he was actually writing this for us, that we could heed the warnings that he could see. And he continues, I know that you do walk in the pride of your heart, and there are none, save a few only, who do not lift themselves up in the pride of their hearts unto the wearing of very fine apparel, unto envying and strifes and malice and persecution and all manner of iniquity, and your churches, yea, even every one, have become polluted because of the pride of your hearts. Why do you build up your secret abominations to get gain, and cause that widows should mourn? This is pretty amazing. It says, I love this imagery. With this panoramic vision of our own day fresh in his mind, Moroni hurled a message down the corridor of time to shock modern men into a vivid realization of the precarious catastrophe which Moroni saw descending upon them. He absolutely, he saw our day, and he says, please, please heed this warning that I'm telling you. And any time that you tolerate these secret abominations. And here it is, back to Agenda 21 in today's world. Look in verse 25. He says, behold, for it cometh to pass that whoso buildeth it up seeketh to overthrow the freedom of all lands, nations and countries, and bringeth to pass the destruction of all people. For it is built up by the devil, who is the father of all lies. And it goes back all the way back to the first parents. Interesting that, these combinations, it says that they couldn't get rid of them. They started with Cain. They went all the way back to Cain, who was a murderer from the very beginning. Bad stuff. This is a voice of warning if I've ever heard one from a prophet, and not just about making sure that you're protected with having food storage and having a little cache of money, but this is about evil stuff, good versus evil, and making sure that you do not let Satan have any power over your hearts. This idea of having a secret combination and gaining what is it that when I think about those mafia movies or something, it's this notoriety, it's this false sense of power over people. And I mean, you can see movie after movie where they demonstrate the cavalier attitude towards life and death, and even that, because what, life is precious. Another thing in the news, this is absolutely abominable, which is the beginning of what they call death pathways in the United Kingdom. They were saying that this is the beginning of what they started clear back in Germany. Now they're doing it again in the year 2012. There are babies who are born deformed, disabled, whatever, and instead of nursing them and helping them to live, to survive, they're putting them on this path to death. And that's how it starts. That's how this whole thing starts. They're putting them on this path to death where they don't feed them. And they let them starve to death. And after some of babies live 10 days or so, they starve them to death. I mean, this is such an abomination and such a wicked time in our day, in our very day. Aside from this, where we think beheadings, how vile, how uncivil, but we even see that today. This is a crazy thing. Stoning the prophets, murdering the prophets, hardening the hearts of men. What is the antidote to this? Let me leave with a voice of hope, that clinging to your testimony, clinging to the Lord, repenting, not allowing even one tiny little inch of the door that opens to becoming in Satan's territory. When you see a woman who offers you something that you know is wrong, turn the other way and run. There are good women out there in the world. That's one thing. The other thing is to stand up for what is right. Get involved in your local community. We have a gathering with some dignitaries, our senator, our assemblyman, our congressman, and I would like to go and meet them and talk to them about Agenda 21. A lot of times they don't even know it's existing. Oh, goodness. Now,
90 seconds.
I'm getting all worked up. Because it's like, oh my gosh, you just want to shake him. I mean, and all I'm doing is just, I'm seeing things through these eyes and seeing through what's flashing in the news today. These seemingly unrelated events, but they're actually not unrelated. They're true. These are some thoughts to consider today. Thank you for joining me with Ether 8, a voice of warning. And I do thank you. Stay tuned for tomorrow. Tune in, and thank you again for your support.